to get started. There we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a content class / marketing class. We are doing a last minute topic change this morning because Julie had to be out unexpectedly. We are still going to do some talking about Pinterest. It looks like I've already got some good questions in the chat, and I have another question that's a really good question. I think it gives us an opportunity to kind of be a little transparent since we also create and sell content here at Socially Inclined. But Rachel is, and let me see. Yeah. Okay. So Rachel is new to social media management. She doesn't have any clients or anything to sell except for her services to her clients. And she's wondering, how do you create content that's worth selling on any platform? I feel like everyone is selling the same templates. So to an extent, the low-hanging fruit, the quick, easy stuff is the same templates because you're trying to create them. The best way to deliver them as a template creator, we'll call it content creator. I have a little bit of a deviation there on what that particularly means, but when you're creating templates to resell, it is a lot of it does look the same because we all, pretty much everybody is using Canva to create these templates because right now that's the best way to deliver templates that are editable to the average person. So the other thing that's hard, and I don't know what your niche is, but when we started our content store way back when, we quickly realized that we were never going to be everything to everyone. If you go look in our content store, we have templates for everyone from authors, accountants, business coaches, social media managers. And we have lots of content bundles that we were creating that we just kind of stopped creating because it is virtually impossible. And again, I mentioned before I hit live that I've kind of fallen out of love with Meta, which is one reason that I do love Pinterest so much these days. I just kind of love it more and more every time I work with it. But they have made it so hard to create one template that works for any platform. You just can't do that anymore. And now Meta, especially, for the longest time, the square the square graphic was perfect. It fit for 90% of the needs, across LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and then TikTok came around. Snapchat, I remember like 8-9 years ago when it first came out. Was it that long? That was just like a huge hurdle for us. We got asked if we would make Snapchats, and we had to price them at like $85 a snap because they were so labor intensive. So in my mind, there's like template creators and then there's content creators. Template creators can still be pretty affordable, but it's a really hard thing to do to create a template that's going to work for any platform without the end user having to do some work on it. They're going to have to resize it. They're going to have to move some things around. They're going to have to balance the white space. So it really just kind of negates a lot of the done for you-ness that our business, and I'm sure you feel it too, anyone who has tried to go into the template creation business depended on. Because 8 years ago, you could sell a template bundle. People loved it. It was just grab and go. Now you buy those templates and they work on Facebook. They work on LinkedIn. They can even work on Twitter now, Threads. But then for those who want the big one too, Instagram, of course, they just changed their size, which we talked about that, I don't know, maybe like 6 or 8 weeks ago in this live training time. So, yes, it's hard. There's no good, easy way to do it, especially if you're a one person. Rachel, I'm going to just go out on a limb and say a one-woman show. It's hard, but if you have like one niche or one specialty, that certainly makes it easier. Heather says, let's ask her all about Pinterest. Yes, please do. And don't forget, if you're watching this on replay, we had a last minute schedule change. We will be doing me and Julie full training on setting up Pinterest from the sign up screen to posting your first pins, and you're creating your boards and your structures and your SEO and all of that. Kara, also known as Riley. Ooh, ask me anything. Okay, challenge accepted. If a marketer wanted to trash Meta, okay, it's good. It's technically about marketing, so I'm here. What content platform would you replace it with? It's good to be back. I miss y'all. We miss you too. So if you wanted to trash Meta, you have to, if you didn't want to use, so what she's asking for those of you who, may be new, because we like to do these because some of you are on here, you've been here for 3 or 4 years with us. And then some of you, this might be your first training. She's asking if I was going to ditch Meta altogether, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, where would I go? Well, that leaves the other ones. But the big question is who are you targeting and what are they into? So when you take Facebook, Instagram, and Threads out, of course, I love Pinterest. And there's a lot of reasons to love Pinterest, not just because it's pretty and, obviously they have my number because you can plan weddings or you can plan Pinterest mom birthday shower or birthday / baby showers, wedding showers, whatever you want to do on there. But one of the big benefits of Pinterest, for those of you who came for a little bit of nugget about Pinterest, is that a pin's life can last 3 to 4 months. Like a pin has that long in the algorithm to start generating some traction. So that, by contrast, is not heard of on Facebook. If you post a picture or if you post a piece of content and it doesn't get traction within the first hour or two, it's very unlikely to get any more traction. Certainly if it doesn't get very much traction in the first day or two, it's going to just disappear unless something miraculous happens, like someone logs in for the first time in 6 months and that post is there. And they start commenting on it and all of that. It's very, very hard. The life of the content that you put out on Meta and that you put out on Twitter, it's even shorter. It's like 10 seconds or less for it to get traction in their algorithm. But the great thing about pins is not only does it provide backlinks, which we did a whole training on, the importance of backlinks to your website and your blogs and your products. If you have a Shopify store or Etsy store or something like that, not only does Pinterest provide one of the few, if not the only platform that provides a high domain authority backlink to your website, the life of that content that you created, sure, pins might take you twice as long to make, but they won't if you use ChatGPT and all the shortcuts that we've talked about over the weeks. But they not only create that backlink, but they also last longer. They're relevant for longer. And then you have this whole repinning strategy that we may talk about after we do the initial training next week that can help even breathe more life into your Pinterest content. So, Kara, if you were to ditch Meta, let's say Facebook and Instagram, Pinterest is a good option if Instagram has your people, because Pinterest is a visual platform. And then if you're looking for something to replace Facebook, LinkedIn, though that is a very professional market over there, though I happen to know you work with authors, so they may be on LinkedIn. But you just have to be cautious because it doesn't matter who your people are. Your people are on Facebook. It's just that they're just so big. There's such a wide active user base for Facebook. So, of course, we're always going to say you should maintain at least a Facebook page where people can find you. And everywhere that you have a profile that's been optimized, that talks nicely to your other profiles that have been optimized and links back to your website is just one more notch in your SEO belt. So hopefully that answered your question. Make sure you're leaving. I'm working my way through the chat to kind of guide, since I'm on my own today, to kind of guide what I'm talking about. So if you want to interject, or if you want to add a caveat, or if you want to ask a secondary question, just leave it in the chat. I will get to it. Rachel, she says, I guess, how do you create content, the images and templates to sell? I know ChatGPT gives you content. It's the templates I struggle with. I'm trying to process that. So you are correct. We did ChatGPT graphic creation a couple weeks ago. We had a lot of fun with it. I don't know if Lori, our holistic bulldog business owner, I was trying to think of something way cooler to call her, because that she does have a pretty neat niche. But we created and we did some fun little tweaks to content with ChatGPT. But I wouldn't think of ChatGPT replacing graphic creation altogether at this point, especially since, I'll tell you straight up, I tried to create some graphics to go in some blogs that we wrote, and I liked the graphics. I thought they looked good. They were infographic style. I really love it for that feature, right? Because I can feed a blog in, and you guys should try this. I'm not saying don't try this, but the secondary part you should be aware about. I fed my blog in, my final blog, and I was like, I would like an infographic that's relevant to go at the end of the section, this section that hits these points. So I had it create these graphics, 2 or 3 of them per blog, and I thought they looked great. I put them into, I, of course, changed the name of them. You want to make sure you change the name of them and give them alt text that doesn't read anything AI-y. And they looked great in the blog. And I was like, okay, I need to post something on LinkedIn today that points to this blog. I'm going to post this graphic. Well, I tried to post this graphic, and some of these platforms are getting real, like they do not want you posting content made with AI without putting a flag at the bottom that says it was made with AI. So even though I thought this graphic looked great, I thought this graphic looked like something I could have created in Canva. When I went to post it, LinkedIn picked up on it being generated by AI and made me click a button that agreed that if I posted it, it was going to have the flag at the bottom that says content generated with AI. So just, as your little social media go-to girl, be aware of that when you're making content in ChatGPT, because LinkedIn especially now has like this new software filter or this new software or filter that it's running content through, where it's picking up on this content. All right. Rachel says, or Heather says, need a tea bundle. Oh, we actually may have one. We just have to. So what we had was a designer do a ton of work, created like every bundle we ever got a request for. But then we realized that bundles weren't enough. We needed captions with them. So whenever I say we have probably 50 to 100 bundles that have never even been published, it's because we don't have the captions, because those are a lot more labor intensive. So I'll look for a tea bundle, see if we have anything that we can bring to life for you. Rachel says small businesses are my target audience. Good. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of small businesses out there. Make sure you've narrowed down who. Yeah. So it's just kind of a double-edged, or what kind of small business and how small of a business. because something that we run into a lot is like micro businesses. And that's why we have so many, how do you say, like different offerings like Success Club. We, from day one, we wanted Success Club to be for our micro businesses, our one woman shows, our one man shows. But then we have, more, I guess, white glove, handheld SEO services and things like that we do for, the larger small businesses and medium size. So just make sure that you're kind of narrowed in on that target audience. Jen asks, does Pinterest only create a backlink to your website once you're verified? Are you asking as a verified merchant? Because the answer to that is no. You do not have to have a verified merchant account to have a backlink. So let me just share my screen real quick and we'll go look. We'll do this Julie style. For those of you who don't know what that means we're going to do it live as we go. You're on here, right? Sweet and simple elderberry syrup. Sweet and simple KY. Let me see if I can find. Well, darn it. No, not in my pens. All pens. Thank you. So let me just see. I was just going to show you. What's your name on? I'm trying to see if I recognize any of these because we've done some pins for you, correct? Yeah, so get back to me in the chat, Jen, and let me know what's your name on Pinterest. You can't see my screen. Oh, you should be able to see my screen. Hold on. Sweet and simple elderberry. Okay. Sweet and simple elderberry. Let me see if I can find you. Maybe I want to find I know Pinterest, so Pinterest search feature is a little bit wonky because right now it's only searching pins, but you would think if I put the name of your business in here, I'm not seeing any right this second. But I've done this before. Let me see. Profiles. There we go. Let's try this. There we go. Okay, we're going to follow you. Sorry, we aren't yet. Okay, elderberry. So you were asking if, let me look at it's hard for me to look at your question. And maybe I'll move you up here. Maybe that won't mess up anything. Shoot, no, it messed up something. Okay, all right. Sorry, it's hard to do this one-on-one. So you wanted to know if it's an actual backlink. So yeah, you don't have to be a verified merchant for every pin will create a backlink for you. And I was just going to show you right here how that works. And I just want to go ahead and reiterate, maybe you don't feel like you're getting traction on Pinterest yet. You also barely have anything on Pinterest yet. So keep that in mind. Let's see. I was just going to show you. If you click here, where do you click? Where do you click? How do I go? It's trying to get me to save it. I don't want to save it. Visit site. There you go. So here we go. Straight from Pinterest to your website, to this blog. This backlink, whether you feel like you're growing on Pinterest itself or not, this backlink is providing value to you that wasn't there before. But also this is just the beginning, Jen, and I know you know that. You have 8 pins, 3 pins, 5 pins, and some of these may be crossover. Your board looks pretty good. Your board spread looks pretty good. But yeah, I wouldn't worry that you're not getting traction because this is still a baby step account. Like, you just kind of got started with this. Also, you have 2.4 thousand or 2,400 monthly views that you would not have gotten if you didn't have an Instagram account or a Pinterest account. I am so sorry. So make sure that you don't put the cart before the horse like that. You did get started finally. So yay. And no, you don't have to be verified for the backlink to work, for the backlink to count, for the backlink to help you with your domain authority in your SEO. Okay. Next question, John, affiliate marketing. John, hi. Glad you're here. What's your take on posting the same image content across multiple platforms versus customizing images and content to each platform, which some say trains your followers to only follow you on one platform? My take is, if you have the time or the resources, which most people that join us on Success Club trainings or content classes don't have, like, a bunch of resources. We're all here, right? Because we don't have the time. We need the time saver. We need the shortcut. So my take on it is, do what you can with what you have. If you have to choose between customizing an image, making it the right size for Instagram now, versus something that is more money generating, then I would choose the money generating thing and let the graphic, same size, same thing, fly. You can really easily with, the Socially Suite dashboard, or if you're using Meta Scheduler or whatever it is, you can adjust the caption, because that is important. You don't ever need hashtags you don't need hashtags on Google My Business, but you should be posting on Google My Business. You don't need as many hashtags on Pinterest. You don't need, and you want to change the way you say certain call to actions and things like that. Like Instagram, if you want someone to take action, you've got to point them to your link in bio. Facebook, LinkedIn, if you want someone to take action, then you need to put the link right there, because that also provides a backlink for your website. So make sure you're taking advantage of that, which is another reason, like, I'm so into SEO and backlinks these days, and like helping your website get visible, that I get more and more put off with Instagram, especially when they change the size. So yeah, if you have the time, hopefully in summary, you understood what I was trying to say. If you have the time to customize the image, yes, I would make the time. If you are really pushing for Pinterest, I would make the time, because like I said, when we first started, those last a lot longer. So yeah, you may feel like you're spending an extra 10, 15 minutes getting a graphic just right in the Pinterest size, but you get so much more bang for your time buck there. Each platform, which some people say, and I'm kind of like, if someone's following you, why does it matter if they only follow you on one platform? We've always kind of said that you want to be everywhere. You want to have a profile everywhere. and you want to maintain some kind of consistency. But for us, our presence is pretty much automated on the platforms that we're not active on, and everything pushes to our website. And then I guess our main active sites are going to be Facebook and Pinterest, because we just can't do it all. I'd love to do Threads. I'd love to do all of it. But you just don't have the time. Coca-Cola, they've got like a huge marketing company, or a huge marketing company that's inside of their company. So Kara, you were leaning towards Pinterest as well, since you have a dual audience, and Facebook is just a pain now. Yeah. And if you have a dual audience, that's great, because you can brand yourself. You can have separate boards. I'm not entirely sure how you brand yourself. I know you have a pen name, correct? And, you can target your audience with different boards and things like that. So Pinterest is definitely something to consider. Heather doesn't need captions, just graphics. Okay. All right. I'll look and see what we have. Jen, now you can use ChatGPT to create captions to all those bundles. Yeah, you can, except for when you're talking about you have 200 graphics in one bundle, and you have to feed in okay, what's in this graphic? Feed it in, get the caption. It's quite labor intensive. So we'll look at it. Jen, I'm working on getting verified. I don't backlinks via Dib. They report new backlinks, etc. I hope you could see my screen. Surely you could see my screen after I fixed it. But yeah, Dib also takes a little time, and you're using Dib free, right? You're using the free one. So, but we end up with new backlinks every single month because of the way we post on social media. So I wouldn't put all of your eggs in the Dib basket. It's a useful tool, but all right, you sent a screenshot of Sweet and Simple. That must have been your Pinterest. Okay, next. I worry that my Pinterest is not getting traction for some reason. I'm pretty sure it's set up correctly. Yeah, Jen, patience. It takes some time. You've got to. Right now, when I go to your Pinterest, it still looks like you either just started it, or you started it and like you haven't come back to it. There's still some work and some consistency to be done there for it to look like you are the elderberry syrup hub on Pinterest. So that will come with time. That will come with pinning and repinning, and consistently putting out content and things like that to help round it out. I wish, gosh, I don't even know how many pins we have, thousands at this point, because we've been doing it for years. And I really wish that you could get traction posting 10 pins. Yeah, you can't pin. Okay, she said, great, thank you. I'm behind on pinning, but I didn't see any change in Dib. Yeah, you're not going to see it that quick. And your blogs are all still relatively new. So it's going to take, and nothing is instant like that. There's a reason when we sell like our bigger SEO packages that we prepare those people to commit to 3 to 6 months, because it takes that long for needles to start to move, because you also have to test it and see what's working. I didn't see any of the honey blog content. We just wrote a really awesome blog for her this month. You got to get all of that content out there so that those backlinks can be working. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see any honey blog content, and I only see 1 or 2 for each of the blogs. And I think you have 5 for each blog. So you got to get them out there so that they can start working their link juice magic before you can have any kind of expectation that anything's going to show up in Dib. And for those of you who don't know, Dib is like a third-party software that kind of keeps an eye on your domain authority, your backlinks, your clout, things like that. Okay, so better to be less perfect and do more to scale. Yes, in general, that's my advice. I think a couple weeks ago we did a how to get unstuck. And I think it came off as very candid, was you got to do the money-making things first. And at the end of the day, having a graphic that's not perfectly sized for a particular platform is probably not going to make as much of a difference as, depending on what your business is, like a different money-making task. Cara, sorry. Yeah, I have the business, then over 30 authors, and then pen names whose books I also market. So authors and readers, all different genres. And I am this close to ditching Meta. Yeah, well, you know what? Especially when it comes to authors and like attracting authors, and I imagine perpetuating a love for writing and self-expression, Pinterest is probably your place. If you've got to go, we'll see you. I think you can watch I think you're in Success Club, so you can watch the replay. So she said, you're so gracious with me. Jen has been around so long. So if some of you new people heard me talking to her and were like, oh my gosh, she's being so harsh. She's been with us for 3-4 years, and she is doing all the things. She's one-man show, making her elderberry syrup in Kentucky. So yes, gracious. Glad you feel that way. We just certainly want to see you continue to be successful. Yeah, you definitely want to, when it comes to pinning, especially when you have a load like that, you want to get them out there, like do 3 or 4 a day. I think that's what I said originally when we sent you the backlog of pins, to do 3 or 4 a day until you were done. That way they're out there and the links can start working for you. Heather, okay, I'm sorry if you're already gone. That was a minute and a half ago. She said, stay cool and have a great rest of your week. I need to jump out. Orders are coming in. Yes. Heather sells tea in Pennsylvania, I think. I've tried to keep up with all of it. So yay, good that orders are coming in. And yes, we're in North Alabama right now for another few days. And it's like a heat wave. People are canceling events and things like that. So y'all be safe out there. Okay, so it's 10:40. I feel like this was a really good conversation. If anyone has any follow-up questions, let me know. Otherwise I'm going to wrap up, and make sure you watch your email for information about, like I said, next week we're going to do the Pinterest topic that we had promised, and we'll do our training. I think you'll get a lot out of it, especially if you are interested at all in using Pinterest for business or brand visibility. Let me just scroll back one more time. Let me know if I missed anything. You have a few seconds to type in the chat, or if you have any last minute questions. Otherwise, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for everyone being flexible and nice to me. I certainly didn't want to hop on here and be like, I know you all came for a world-class training on Pinterest, but we had to cancel that at the last minute. I didn't want to do that, but things happen. So thank you for being flexible. Hopefully you got something out of my rambling for an hour about Pinterest, which I know it wasn't that. And thank you for asking some great questions. And I hope that the answers helped you work through it. So you guys come back next week. If you're not a member of Success Club, consider being a member. It supports us. It supports these classes. It's only $15 a month, and that lets you off the hook of being here live, because then you get access to every replay. And you can join Success Club by going to sociallyinclined.com, clicking the little search magnifying glass and typing in Success Club, and you'll see everything you need to know. All right. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next week.